Hello, welcome to our room, Charot Room. It's another wonderful, beautiful, privileged time to be with my sister. I am Justine.
And I'm FaelnarTe.
And I'm Angel Qinan.
And I'm Kim Chan. Kim C.
And this, oh my gosh, it's just a wonderful day, guys.
I
Well,
know it's so pretty today.
It's a
I
nice
know.
day. I'm
Yeah,
Wow,
tired
it is.
pretty.
though. I am tired and I am sleepy, but it is such a nice time to be with my sisters who are, like you said, super gorgeous. Super
Yes.
gorgeous. Okay, come on. Spill your oats for like a few seconds. So, do you feel
Aura lang.
pretty? No, seriously, but do you guys feel pretty?
Of course, it depends on the day. Like there are days that I feel when I feel good, I feel pretty. But when I'm like, maybe sad or like I feel like tamad or like feeling lazy, then
Uh-huh.
then I kind of feel like it shows on my face also. So I think it depends. And pretty for me is kind of more of the inside than the outside. So I guess that's how I answered your question. Um, but if you're just talking about outside, then I know that I acknowledge that I am pretty and I have the pretty privilege. Not to sound
Wow.
boastful, but I think it's kind of a sad reality for some. And again, obviously, it depends on who's judging. So, obviously, for other people, I might be pretty, for other people, I'm not. But let's be real here. I'm pretty.
Yes.
I'm teasing.
Justine,
Anyways, go.
Justine,
Me,
Kim.
yeah. I'll save Kim because she's wearing glasses. So I agree with this Angel too. Like sometimes you feel pretty, sometimes you don't. But I guess I've never really told myself, "Wow, you're pretty." I guess I'd rather say to myself like, "Okay, you're glowing today." I guess that's more like a little more less pressure because
But I
like
think, Justine, you glow every day. Any
yeah.
hour.
We got, like there's only one thing that makes you glow every day. So,
And what is that?
you know, uh,
Ener-
Does it sound like
oh my god. Is that Enervon? Is that what you
yes,
call
Enervon, the Enervon afterglow. So, yeah, yeah, not really, wouldn't say I'm pretty. I would say, that I'm just glowing and, just regular.
So Justine says like you don't wake up and say like you're pretty, and then Angel says that you're pretty more like when you feel it. But for the most part, you think society, most of society would deem you as attractive, correct? Is that
um yeah, I guess. I mean,
and
I won't say most, but
like
but for my experience, I think I do have that pretty privilege.
how about you, Kim?
Well, for me, I think depending on my mood, like if I had enough sleep, or if yeah, or how do I feel for the day,
Or if you're
or
not wearing glasses.
actually, I feel prettier with my glasses.
Do you really?
No, because I'm a very shy person. So yeah, like, or whenever I dress up, I feel like my how I, dressed up, like looks if it looks like the saying, like, if you look good, you'll feel good, something like that.
Hmm.
Good.
So you're the other way around. You need to look good so that you can feel good, and then Angel is like intrinsically feeling pretty, and then it goes to the outside. Am I correct? to assume.
Uh,
I guess
well,
yes. I mean, obviously it goes both
Yeah,
ways
yeah,
too,
yeah.
depending
yeah,
on if somebody dresses me up, then of course, or somebody puts makeup on me, then I will feel pretty also, you know. So, but for
yeah.
the most part, I think it kind of starts from within for me. And you, Lee?
And
Me.
me, so I think I take pretty pictures. My mom, I feel like my mom is pretty, and people say that I kind of look like my mom, but I feel like I cheat looking like
Uh
my
huh.
mom with makeup. So for the most part, like I don't feel pretty if I don't make my do the effort to make myself pretty. So like I know if I put my makeup on, if I dress nice, like what Kim said, like outwardly, um,
Mm-hmm.
outwardly society would think of me as pretty because I do know how to dress myself, and I learned throughout the year, throughout. Is that like
What's
somebody?
happening?
Is somebody clapping?
Is there somebody getting?
They're excited for our episode.
I
Sorry.
know. Somebody's clapping.
May nagpupakpak.
I know. I got so like
To the valley.
I got so distracted. So like that's how I would feel pretty if I make a conscious effort to make myself feel pretty. But according to people, for the most part, I am pretty, and I do have the pretty privilege, I think, as well, because like when you go to clubs, like when I've gone to clubs and stuff, there are times that there's a line, and through like when you're there, somebody the bouncer would go out and pick you to get in
Yeah.
ahead of other people, especially if
Really?
it's just
Wow.
like mostly girls that I'm with. Then and it's that's something that I kind of learned from like a group of friends that I've hung out before, is to make sure like you have that aura, that essence of like you need me in this club, so like you can get picked up in that line and then you can get
So
in.
you can get the privilege of not falling in line to get
Mm-hmm.
in that club.
Yes. So.
So you're talking about privileges of being pretty now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like that.
So
That's why I feel like sometimes I'm pretty. It doesn't happen all the time. I know other friends of mine that has that effect like right away. Like they get in
so
like,
other than like an obvious things like that, obvious things that you kind of get a privilege from being pretty from a club, and let's say from modeling, casting, or this and that. Do you feel like pretty privilege is does exist everywhere, like every day, pretty much?
again, I guess does. I'm not. I don't try to. How can I answer this question? I don't know if it exists every day. Maybe. I might not just be aware of it. I don't open my eyes to being aware of it because, like I said, I only feel pretty if I make an effort. So
Mm-hmm.
like although people find me attractive or pretty, like the people that say that I'm pretty most of the time are the people at church. So like I know I have that privilege at church, but like on a daily basis, if I go to work, there's so many people that are pretty that I see, and my insecurity takes the like makes me feel less pretty, or just doesn't make me feel pretty at all. So I
But do
don't.
you feel like at church, for example, do you get like benefits from being pretty, like being placed on stage more, maybe, or
I,
you know?
I would think so. I mean, being listened to more, especially like we're openly out at church. Like I'm personally openly out at the church that I go to. So unfortunately, I believe like for standards of like society standards of being pretty, I get that, and then that gives me more of a voice so that I'm asked to speak more. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm active, blah blah blah, but I do think like having like being pleasing to somebody's eyes, you can get their attention more. So
Do you think being tall because they can see you better, like listen to you
I
faster,
guess also being
helps with
tall.
that?
I guess also being tall too. I mean, like to
Would
have.
you say that's part of pretty privilege? You're like everyone below there, listen to me.
I get so distracted by the knocking that's happening. I
Sorry.
don't know. Maybe okay, so it's twofold. In the modeling industry, it does help that you're tall. Um, but because I'm trans, being tall can be an insecurity for me because,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially like if I go home to the Philippines, because I am tall. So,
Yeah.
like for
So it's
me,
a less pretty privilege if you're tall in the Philippines.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's privilege that I am
Or passing. I
or
guess
yeah,
passing
or like yeah,
privilege.
or more what you call it, like more visibly trans.
Kim
There,
is just
there.
laughing here and giggling. What are you giggling about? You're,
I don't.
No.
Are you aware of pretty privilege? That's the first question that I want to ask.
Well, since we've discussed this before, so it gave me an idea. But yeah, when the first time I heard about it, I was like, oh, I didn't know that exists. So now I have an idea. Yes. To answer your question, yes.
Okay, so
what's
you
the
don't.
question and what's the answer?
Okay, so so what? So have you thought if there's anything that's been done because you're pretty, like you got quicker, or like for instance, like you got served quicker, people were nicer to you because of the way that you look. Have you ever noticed that type of treatment?
I yes, I think looking back, looking back, like knowing myself, I'm a very shy person, and I did, yes, I feel like I did experience that pretty privilege before. Like one time, me and a friend of mine, we were just we were in a trade show and we were trying to buy food, and then this lady. So I was just smiling, just being nice, and there's this lady is like, okay, how much is this? So I was just like pointing, what do I want? And then this lady said, no, it's okay, it's on me. I was like, wait, what? Like, it's on me. I was like, okay. So we got that food for free. And then sometimes, like, whenever I need my car fixed, so I mean, I'm not trying to like charm anyone, but just being nice and kind to those person, and or just having that aura. And I would just ask, like, would it be possible? Because sometimes they're so busy at the car, something, and I would ask for if we can get it like expedited, so that because I'm in a hurry, and and especially if it's a guys, and then you try to smile a little bit, and I said, okay,
And
I'll
show some
do.
cleavage.
Yeah. No, actually, I haven't done that trick yet, but it's
So you're trying to.
it's just basically just smiling and just being nice, just being very, yeah. So yeah, I feel like I it happened to me before.
Do
So
you play like damsel in distress too? Like, oh, can you help me? I don't know cars, and I need to go somewhere.
Yeah, and even negotiating prices for some people, like when you're trying to buy something, and you try that a little bit charm. And when I was traveling in, and I was trying to buy a souvenir, and this lady who owns the shop, she said, "Oh my gosh!" Although I mean, she generalized it, and she said, "You Asians are just so good in negotiating prices," and it's like, "Yeah, please." And then and then she gave it to me anyway. So yeah,
Oh,
it's good.
Good job, Kimi.
Justine.
That's it. Oh my gosh. Pretty. What is pretty privilege? Privilege. Charot lang. What was the question?
What for you is pretty privilege?
Pretty is me. Thank you, Charot. Pretty privilege. Like people would say, people, even my boyfriend, Brian. Oh, geez, everyone knows I have a boyfriend now. Brian would say like, yeah, you're gonna get away
And they
with
know
that because you look this,
his
you look
name.
like that. I'm like, not really sure if I do, but like people would tell you that, oh yeah, because you're pretty, that's why you get that, you get your way. But sometimes when you're in when you really need a hand or help, you don't really think like, okay, let me look pretty, like for me, mostly, like if I need help in the store, because I'm really lazy. If I go to the store, I want to just go to the aisle where I need the items. I would just ask the employee, where is this? Where's the aisle for this? Just like Kimi said, like, I think for me, you can be just pretty. You just have to be humble, and you have that aura to present people. So like sometimes there's people that are very beautiful or like very pretty, but they're annoying. I see that because I work in a restaurant. So like, okay, you're
Yeah.
pretty. That's not gonna work for me. But just like Kimi said, like for me, like I guess it's more like how you approach things nicely, and then I guess like the aura of yourself, like your prettiness will just be the second, and then that happens when I need help in the store, or if I have questions, and then mostly in a restaurant. I guess it kind of works for me if I'm selling something,
Yeah.
Mm.
especially if I'm in the front. So it's I would say my not my advantage, but it's a skills that I have to learn,
So it
or I
sounds
need
like
to
for you, being pretty is like not just something given, but it's kind of also something that you put out, like, your smile and your aura and your charm,
yes,
kind.
exactly. Yeah.
So does
Yeah.
anybody use their pretty privileges in good ways?
How would you use your pretty privilege in good ways? I mean, what I try to do basically is, I mean, because it's hard. I don't
Like
know.
one of the things you mentioned earlier is that you feel like people listen to you more,
Yeah.
or it's easier to listen to you if you're prettier.
I mean,
So maybe
no,
that.
like that's why I'm like that's why if somebody asks me to talk at church, I say yes. And then there are also like there especially transgender day of remembrance, but like during that time I try to make sure that it's just not only me there. I try to invite as many people as I can so that they can be up the stage, because like my story as a trans individual is very limited to my experience, and I
Mhm.
kind of want other experiences to be heard, because like um for me I fit like the binary to the T, and I felt like I'm supposed to be a woman ever since I was a kid, but that doesn't what you call this that doesn't translate to all of the trans people that we know.
Correct.
Some of us are like non-binary. Some of us don't even need to do any type of physical transition to make them feel that they're already like the gender that they are. They just need to identify as the gender that they really need to be. So I mean, there's so many different ways. I might even be wrong stating this, but like for me, like that's how I probably would use my pretty privilege if given a chance. And also, of
I think
course,
that's how you are using it already. I mean, not just how you would, because you're
uh,
already doing it. I think being part of the entertainment industry, like using our pretty privilege to speak up, like just like what we're doing here in Charot Room, talking about our own experiences, our own like hardships and everything. It's with the hope that because people would listen to us more, as you said.
for sure. And like not only us, also like not try to box the like a gender to a binary, because like there's really no box for gender. It's like such a spectrum.
Yeah, I think what you mean by that is that in the broad population or human race, because pretty is very subjective. As of now, not everybody considers um, somewhere being in between pretty. Like you kind of have to be a binary, like super femme or super masculine, or that toxic femininity or toxic
Toxic masculinity. Yeah.
masculinity. So I think we're still far from kind of everybody just thinking that everybody's beautiful, but I think we're all kind of using our voices to hopefully, if there's one person listening to us
Yeah.
who doesn't think everybody's pretty, then hopefully they might reconsider seeing everybody else pretty too.
Especially in the Philippines, because like it counts for a lot. Like being pretty counts a lot in the Philippines. Even like my skin tone, it's a little bit whiter. That already counts for being pretty privileged. And it's I don't want to be dark, not because well, I also don't want to be dark for two reasons. One is because I feel like I'm not as pretty if I'm darker,
Mm.
and which kind of probably is something that was instilled in me because of
It
Philippine
was, yeah. Hmm.
hospitality. And then the other reason why I don't want to be dark is because this is just normally my skin tone and I don't want the sun to damage my skin. So there's like both reasons to keep the way that I look right now. It's like preserving that pretty privilege, I guess, that I'm holding on to. Anybody else feel that way?
About the skin tone?
Yeah, or like skin tone, or like try to preserve pretty privileges, blah blah blah, this and that, or like also or tag on to the question that you asked me a while ago about using your pretty privilege.
Well, I kind of answered it. I think being in the entertainment industry is like kind of banking on that pretty privilege, so you can be more vocal about your advocacies, and equality and everything. I kind of thought about that when I joined the pageant, because that's one of the questions, is pageant still relevant? And the way I kind of thought about it is yes, because if you're pretty on stage, then sometimes people listen more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if people listen more, then it's time to kind of use that privilege to speak up on important things.
And
Wow.
how about
It's so
you?
deep. I thank you very
I
much.
know. That's like pretty privileged in a very inspiring way.
It, I
Yeah,
mean, it, yeah. Go ahead, Justine.
yeah, I'll answer the question really quick. I mean, I'm not really experienced with modeling, but I guess pretty privileged. Not really one thing that you can have. I guess you just have to be pretty to have a pretty picture, so they would pick you and then cast you, and then you do the project, right? Like for me, just guess I just have to be pretty in the picture and then justify that on when I see the casting people. So more on a industry, I guess it's not fit in the description they're looking for, you're good to go. And then um yeah, I mean, with my color, I'm actually okay with darker or lighter skin. I mean, I don't really like I'm not likely, but I do understand that. I guess I do want to like portray like a darker color, if that's okay. Yeah, I just like use it. I don't even know where it's going, but like
I understand what
with
you're
the
saying though. Because like you're banking on you being like darker skinned, and then like here in the US for the most part, darker skin, like people like the white people are trying to get tanner and whatnot, and you have that type of glowy like darker shade skin, like really
yeah.
already tan. All is that all? Would you consider that color olive? I don't know what skin tone colors are.
Kayumanggi.
Kayumanggi. Now you have to search for that word.
Kayumanggi is brown. Brown skin.
Is
Brown
it
skin.
brown?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's better when it's in Tagalog, Kayumanggi, than
Because
brown.
it's more prideful, diba?
Yeah, it
Yeah, it's
is.
more prideful. Very, very nice choice of word, Angel.
What about you, Kim Chan? Kim C. Kim Chan.
um, what was the question again?
So do you like wearing sunglasses so that you can look darker and be more kayumanggi? Why or why not?
I love wearing sunglasses because it makes me feel more confident. Because without it, I feel so shy. And
No, but
thank you. Charot.
pretty privilege. Do you use it
Oh
in
yes.
a good way too?
Actually, I don't know because I'm a very introvert person. Um, I probably I use it more of at work when I'm working. So since I was in sales before, sales and marketing, so I think, you know, being pretty or with a gift of beauty, it's easier to close deals or talk to people more, but at the same time, not too confident, but confident enough to know what you're talking about, to know your shit, to know what's going on, and also being pretty is like an additional or bigger points to, yeah, to dealing with people, because like whenever you go to a shop, or for me, for example, or based on from what I've seen from friends, like even though you're not buying or you're not planning on buying anything, but then when once you go to a shop and then you see some cute stuff, and it's just like, oh, you gravitate towards it, and it's like, okay, I think this is cute, and then if the price is right, the quality is right there, I was like, okay, I'll buy this, I like this, that kind of thing. So I think being pretty attracts a lot of things. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why there's models like Lee, wearing
Yes.
those gowns because it looks prettier if somebody pretty is wearing it.
Yeah.
I think that's tall. Like I think, like what, I kind of made me feel confident more in the modeling industry. Like I said, I only feel pretty when I try to make an effort to feel pretty. I don't feel like I'm naturally pretty, and like people might think that's a lie, but the insecurity that I have.
Do you
What
feel
makes
like it's important to make that effort to be pretty?
do I when I'm
Like,
going,
should people be doing that?
it depends. I don't think you should be doing that if that's something that's not doesn't make you happy. I feel like for you, if you want to work on like a lot, like Alicia Machado said before during the Miss Universe, like she would rather be smart because she could, because she could develop herself internally, and she's able to do many many other things. She could also be pretty and rich if she's also intelligent or smart. So like that was her answer. So basically, the reason why I'm a nerd, the reason why I feel like I'm super outgoing when we do our volunteer work, it's mostly because of the fact that my internet connection is slow. Mostly because of the fact that I don't find myself attractive, so I try to develop other things within me
Mhm.
to kind of make like to kind of balance like my physical
To
appearance.
compensate.
Yeah, compensate. Thank you for the word, Justine. I'm so
Of
happy.
course, I get that from
So
Angel.
like to compensate for my,
Because Justine has all brains too.
Naka-enervan.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean though. Do you get it? So like when it came to modeling, all that, like you said it, like I'm acting as a model, so that kind of helped me when
Yeah.
you said that. So I'm just acting like I'm a model. It's like an acting job, and at the same time, I don't think all models are pretty. It's just like they know how to make the clothes hang on them well, so that the clothes would
I
look.
think everybody's pretty. It's Lee who said.
Yeah. Disclaimer. Naka-record to.
I'm teasing.
That's why it made me
I
feel
know what you mean.
better.
I was.
Well, I know what you mean, but then that made me feel better because I'm like, you know what? Like I don't have to be that pretty to be a model. I just have to know how to model.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it
Well,
was
yeah. Modeling is more than just being pretty. You have to be able to walk and kind of showcase the dress so that it's going to be sold. So.
And like even being said earlier, like being pretty is very subjective. So like like some people might think that I'm pretty, some people might think that I'm not. So yeah, it's very subjective
But do
for
you feel like it's
everything.
important to like really work hard or kind of like make yourself prettier, like by
Well,
putting on.
depending on, I think, where I'm going at, or depending on how I feel, on my mood. Because sometimes when I feel like, nah, I'm just going down the road, and I could just like tie my hair and then just put a little lipstick, and then I feel like, okay, this is good enough. You try to like
Mm.
um, fit in into the to a place that you're going to. So, or not really fit in, but like try to like ano yung ibagay
Yeah.
sa
Mhm.
ano. So you're not either
Yeah.
overdressed or underdressed. Basically, you're like, I mean, you will still stand
You
out,
want to
but
blend in. You want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Justine, you unmuted.
Yeah, I did because all the background noise. Anyway, to answer your question, I agree with Kimi. Sometimes you just want to blend in. So when you don't want all the paparazzi looking at you, it's like you just want to be like low profile. You just want to
Wow,
Yeah.
blend
nakakaya
in.
naman. May paparazzi.
No, I mean sometimes I would just wear like baggy shirt, baggy pants, and then just put on some hat. So just to not cause any what do you call that,
So
any
it's
commotion.
interesting. So it's kind of like saying that being pretty could also be a disadvantage. Is that what you're saying?
um I guess
Like if you're too dressed up and too pretty for the day, then it might be too much for you, or for whatever you just want to do. If you just want to pick up a banana versus,
exactly.
saying hi hello to everybody because I'm pretty.
Right. I guess if you're single, I mean, I noticed that when I have Brian, he would always, if I'm gonna go somewhere, and then I would just throw in some really just very plain dress, and then he would tell me, "Where you going? You look beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
Where
he's
you
a
going?"
love.
Sometimes he would just do that.
it
I
must
don't
be
know if the
love.
Yeah, that's love.
so I guess it's a little disadvantage too, because like you said, like if you're just gonna get a banana, you don't want all the attention. I guess it's different when you're single. You want that all the attention, and then I don't know. I guess for me, like if I get honked on the street, that's okay because I'll get that a lot. But if you're with someone, you're like your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, I don't know how would they feel. I mean, I
It's
don't know. I
beyond
mean, I
your
don't know if
control.
exactly.
It's beyond your control how they would feel.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's my pretty privilege. I use that more when I'm working because it's more beneficial for me, not just for me, but for the business too. And then it's nice to have that pretty privilege, even though like people don't see you as beautiful, but some other people see you as beautiful. So it's nice to have that. I do have a question with the Angel since we're talking
Yeah.
about with work. Kimi works in marketing, like with social people, like transacting. Like how does pretty privilege work in medical field or in your industry?
Well, if you do have like an angelic face like mine, then it
You
helps
did.
in making patients feel better every day. No, but I think being pretty at work, for example, in healthcare, includes kind of like a hygiene that they know that you can take care of yourself, so that you can take care of them
Mm.
also. So I think in in different ways of being pretty, again, it's kind of subjective on what pretty is. So as what Kim said, also it you kind of dress up for the occasion or
Mm.
for the location, and I think at work, being looking professional, looking clean, looking like you take care of yourself will give a good impression to the patients, and maybe they will feel more confident and better, that they are being taken care of somebody who knows how to take care of themselves. At least that's how I see how I dress up at work. So I do try to put in an effort to look prettier at work if I know that that may affect my patient care.
That's
Wow.
so cool. Oh, okay, so like let's wrap up on a scale of like 1 to 10. How im-
10.
how important it is for you to be pretty, to keep pretty, and why?
I would say like 7 God, that's I don't know if that's low or high number, but I'll just say 7. Um, is it useful? Yes. Does it benefit me? Yes. Do I have to look pretty? I don't want to. Guess. Yeah, 7.
All right, Angel, Kim.
I think it's kind of hard to like give a specific amount of 1 to 10. But I won't say it's a black and white 1 or 10. So I probably will go somewhere in the middle too, maybe 5, 6, or 7. You guys know I have a big scar here. Like I had a jet ski accident. That was at a time when I was pursuing modeling more, and I really felt like when it was busted open, my face is not flawless anymore, that I would lose that pretty privilege, and I would have to work hard to be a better actress and to be better at whatever other things that I do. But maybe I kept some of my pretty privilege after that, and really found out that it's not just about how you look, it's also about what's inside, what's on your heart, on your mind, on your aura and the overall impact, So parang Miss Universe, there's an interview
Yeah.
competition, there's there's a swimsuit competition, and then there's an evening gown competition.
How about you, Kim? 30 seconds. Answer the question.
Well, I agree with Sis Angel what she said. So is Sis Justine. Like, it's not just about the outside, but also just being what you think, what your heart, how big is your heart, and just being nice to people because it also like it makes you more beautiful when you're nicer, when you're much you're kind to people and your intentions as well. So yeah, on top of what my other sister says. So yeah.
That is so sweet, Justine. Okay, so I'm gonna sound very, very shallow because it's true. It's important to me to keep pretty because I know I've like for the entertainment industry, a lot of people are look up to you more if you have that face. So it's kind of like because of that standard, it's been important for me to keep myself pretty according to those standards. Do I think I am at those standards? No, that's why I keep on working on it. But also when I work on it, I also feel healthier sometimes because like that includes also working out, like exercising, taking care of myself. So like that becomes a self-care for me. So maybe if I lose it, I might have more depression, anxiety, who knows? But I'm just like being honest with myself. It has been important, but should it be important? Maybe not. So that's it for the Charot Room. If you want to ask more about that, you can so message us. Right, Seth?
Yes.
Yes, and as what
Yeah.
Ali says on her YouTube channel, you're pretty with or without makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
All
Yeah.
right. Bye, y'all. Charot.
Bye.
Bye y'all.